And good evening, everyone. If you, if you can hear me, arrives on air. And welcome to my a little bit of a soldering stream. Soldering pretty much random stuff, just like the title says, and the picture is 100% right. Fist, good evening. You're the first one tonight. Jumping in. Hope you can hear me well. I'm kinda a little bit off with my setup here. Not really wearing my proper headphones, so you might be hearing some squeaking. The thing is that I'm kinda, since I have everything sorta kinda encompassed pretty much on my desk, I stopped using the headset microphone. And I switched to just, I'm using my normal microphone just with sensitivity and amplification way higher than normal, just not to need to talk into it. So yeah, that's the thing. So let's add a little bit of light here, just like that. Everything is a little bit of green, but that's the camera. So last time we assembled a PSU, pretty much assembled. The board was from the AliExpress. It's a pretty basic PCB. Mains input 220, 230 whatever volts, and 12 volts of output. Just 3 amps. Not that bad for a small board, but again, nothing special. The thing about assembling that PSU was not that it was somehow special in its characteristics. No, it was in a custom case that I designed and 3D printed. I actually forgot to put it on Thingiverse. That would be actually, can be used by other people, because it could be mounted underneath something in that case. So cheap bench power supply? No, it's like when I have a bench power supply, but when you need like powering up some other stuff. In this case, I needed to power up LED lights for plants. So, and I want to have all the cables tucked away. I don't want to have wall plugs and whatnot, wall adapters. I want to have like the PSU hidden. And only like one cable coming from underneath the, it's kind of a stand with shelves. So underneath that stand, coming to the wall outlet. So yeah, nice compact solution to eliminate cabling, to be able to actually do as less cable management as possible. So yeah, that's why I designed the case for it. Where's my second sleeper? Yeah, here it is. So that's why I designed the case for it, just to be able to all mount it and hide it. That's the thing. Otherwise, those LED lights, of course, they have their own power supplies, but yeah. So I can show you once already working, not installed though, but already working. This one that I assembled before, so that's what it is. Here just IEC 7 or 5, I don't remember. And here we have a standard 5mm, I think it is. Standard barrel plug. So it has ventilation here, holes for ventilation, for vents, and it's supposed to be mounted like this, so like this, and it's kind of splash sort of resistant, because the holes are like slanted inside. So if the water from the plants goes like from the top of it through the shelves, it would probably just won't get inside and just like drip down, flow down. So yeah, nothing special. 3 amps, 12 volts. And what I like about these ones, that you can make your own power cables, power cords for this. So of the length you need exactly for what you need. So that's the one I made before, not the last time. So pretty basic, no switches, no nothing. Today we're gonna do a little bit different. Again, I need to solder a bunch of cables. I need to solder like 8 TRS cables for balanced connection, basically patch cords, TRS balanced patch cords. Why would I need to seal it if it's like, if it has holes? It has like, it gets warm under load. It got to have some vents. But we will start with this one. This is a custom shroud for cooling down old professional NVIDIA video cards. They don't have fans, so you got to come up Fistmaster. It's gonna be mounted like on the wood here, so PLA isn't very. What are you talking about? That level of waterproofness, it's like out of the window because we literally have holes here. I don't get you. Like in case of flooding, the sockets would get flooded. Like it's pretty much a splash protection, so it's not like waterproof. It's splash protection. If something drips from like from the shelves through the gaps between the from the gaps between the wood of the shelves, so yeah, it would just drip down. So in case of a flood, that's not going to help. Water could sit on top. No, water's not going to sit on top. It's like it's specifically to be mounted underneath some surface. So this is a custom shroud printed for video cards like NVIDIA Tesla K80, P40. I don't remember PP100. Some of them like have compatible holes. So, and people came out with this shroud. It's not my design, of course. So there are different shrouds for different coolers, like for 9mm, for 12, for 9 centimeter, for 12 centimeter, for like turbines. But this is like the most compact solution. It might not really work well for all ways of using these old NVIDIA cards, but depends on the fans installed. If you like put some very serious like server grade fans here, it would of course create 100% enough airflow for pretty much cooling it under any circumstances. But if you're using it at home, you don't want to have these turbines, finger cutting turbines, because that would be too much noise. So more compact fans. But so I kind of got these fans for this one, but I cannot even test it. How good would it be? Because technically they the specification for these fans say it was like 1000 RPM, and they are not like they are rated at 0.15 amps, so pretty much should be kinda maybe powerful enough to cool at least to cool a card at least under some circumstances. But I cannot even test it. I have NVIDIA Tesla P40. I cannot even test it because the connectors. I keep forgetting how these connectors are called. So we need to solder to make an adapter for this, to be able to plug it in the motherboard. So I have a scene already, of course, a scene like this running on my P40. It has its own cooling. It's just different fans. So 12 volt, yeah, they are pretty much the same type, the same size. It's 4x4. These ones are just really small ones. It's the first time I'm kind of using the small ones. It's like 1 centimeter. The previous one that I assembled was 2 centimeters thick fans, but the previous fans that I actually tried, they were rated for less amps. Not 0.15 but 0.10, so maybe these are smaller and even better, who knows. So we got to try that. For that we got to solder a basic adapter, a little bit maybe on the longer side, because in some cases these cards would be like outside of the case. And this is a motherboard connector, so JST, yeah, I keep forgetting, JST 2.54, I think, I don't remember exactly, so I keep just buying cables, cutting them to just have the adapters, to just make these adapters. So yeah, let's just, for me to be able simply to put it on the cart and test it. Unfortunately, these fans, they don't have the RPM control, the RPM detector, what's it called, so it doesn't have the third wire coming out of it, so don't have. And yeah, pretty much. Okay, so going to need a lot of these. I wanna just make it look nice. Yeah, I actually managed to do a little bit of cyberpunk for my pets. A small fan attached to their cage, but the fan running on 12 volt rechargeable battery was a little bit too much. Plus, because it's running on 12 volt sealed but lead acid battery, sealed but lead acid, just for the safety, because it's literally standing on the pets cannot reach it, but it's standing on their pretty much cage enclosure. They don't have a cage, they have like a cupboard pretty much with glass doors. That's what they have. And this thing, the lead acid battery is standing on top. First of all, it uses some over discharge, deep discharge protection board, because it's a lead acid battery. Yeah, so, and second, the fan was a little bit too much on 12 volts, so there is like a buck converter, I think it's called. Two boards attached to the side of this cupboard where my pets live. And like all these boards, one of them has like indicators and whatnot and LEDs, and that all looks pretty cyberpunkish. So pretty much like this. Ended up with this pretty cyberpunkish cage. It's all glowing red in the night. Okay, we have these stripped. And by the way, my bench power supply is charging one of the batteries right now, so we cannot even use it. So okay, let's prepare these ones. The only thing I didn't learn about this type of this type of soldering is that how to pick the right size of the shrink tubing. So I always end up with too narrow ones and cannot pull them on the soldered connections. Do you have focus there? Yeah, kind of hard to see. I'm using cheap USB cameras with manual focus, but with actually a real lens. I keep forgetting the name of the standard used in surveillance. Well, not this, it's like old stuff. These days it's all like IP and whatnot, a different, completely different lens, way smaller. So this one's going to be, this adapter's going to be on the longer side to be able to like connect it to any port on the motherboard, any fan connector on the motherboard, even with the card being outside of the case. They are not like gigantic, those professional cards, they're pretty standard size, I mean big standard, but when you add this to the end of it, or something larger than this, nylon cable sleeve, you mean like braided ones? So yeah, I don't do sleeves. For some reason I kinda don't like the sleeving. So okay, I see. So okay, so this all goes together like this, but first we got to put on the shrink tubing. So, and that has to be big enough for six wires in there. One for 6 wires and then 2 for, no, that's gonna be probably even larger. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, that's not going to. Learn how to pick the right diameter. That's like still something I never going to master. This one's narrower. So this then. But if it doesn't look good, I will just cut everything and do it again. I want it to look good, so they would be all sort of kinda for on this side. Let's still try the smaller one. 4 on this side and 2 on the other side coming out, plus some room for the solder joints. Basic stuff. This type of soldering I've been doing, yeah, not going on. This type of soldering I've been doing for like whole my life. Is it that? That's not the right one. Let's take the larger one. So especially the solder joints, you end up with yeah, it's gonna be this one. So you go here. Let's cut you to the length. Sort of kinda again when it all look nice. Do I have scissors here? Crap. Give me a second. Scissors. Here we go. Don't want it too long, don't want it too small, just of the right size. So like this. Kind of want to make it look professional because I just might sell it. If this fan's actually good for anything, for the task, yeah, why not? Not amazing money, but people buy them, sell them and buy them. So, and now these individual ones again. This one has to be big enough, so let's just cut it in two. Yeah, I'm not using the right colors for them because they're going to be all hidden underneath one red one. Okay, I'm not going to pre-solder them because I won't be able to just twist them together. And the basic way is just to twist them together, all together, and then solder like this. Yeah, super. Never, I just cannot get used to this camera. Okay. Something like this. Twist it properly. My old soldering iron. Well, it's not actually that old. I have an older one. So, and the older way of soldering, using pine rosin flux, drowning everything in pine rosin flux. People would solder just either using, like, of course, semi-liquid flux for heat guns and the board heating, or they would use just the flux that's inside the tin wire here. So, but yeah, here we just do a lot of smoking. That's the way I like it. For those who doesn't know, pine rosin flux here works as oil on your frying pan. It lets the heat to spread very evenly. It simply transfers the heat. So plus pine rosin, absolutely natural, 100%. The solder itself, of course, has lead in it, but pine rosin, 100% natural, and smells good. I like the smell of it. So it's supposed to be like that, and then oh no, it goes on, and then like this I was able to pull it on. So no heat guns on this channel. We just burn everything with a lighter. That's why sometimes my wires would be a little bit burned. So, but yeah, this is the way. Now another one. Let's see that we are not twisting anything here. Put everything more or less in order. Okay. How would I do it like this, maybe? To have 100% of... No. Okay, whatever. To have some serious twisting here. I mean, not that it's like a high power joint that's supposed to survive high currents. Nothing even close. It's like 0.30 amps, so 300 milliamps. Stop. A little bit of more twisting. When you start heating up the wires like that, the insulation sometimes goes a little bit off. Got to be ready to adjust for that. The insulation shrinks too. And a huge blob of pine rosin there. Not a big deal, it's pine rosin, all natural. Okay, so supposed to be like that. Crap, yep. Basic adapter, nothing special. So this one, that one I was able to pull on. This one is hard because of the pine rosin stuck on the wires. Well, the way to remove excessive pine rosin, it's like to use some alcohol, but here I have a different problem. Oh, come on. On this side it was tight. It was tight on that side. On this side, my problem again. Straight on. Inability to pick the right diameter of the shrink tubing. Okay, it's on. Very tight, without even shrinking. Well, on the other side it's good. Okay, here we go. This is done. Now the big one over them. Oh yeah, that's the right size. Something like this. So basic adapter for the fence is ready. Okay, gotta find a way to test the fence. I cannot, like, I want to see if they're loud or if they're pretty small. I kinda cannot believe they would do 8000 RPMs and consume even more current. Okay, so got to get the bench PSU. Give me a second. Got to get it here with some power cord, of course. Still charging the battery. Just a sec. Or battery. Yeah. Charging some serious batteries for my another UPS right now. Well, they're too small. Let's see. Just a sec. Okay. And by the way, this thing will tell us the amps too. Real consumed current. I need an adapter. And the power cord. Where did I? Here it is. Okay. I have enough wall outlets under my desk. Here we go. I'll be able to show you the current. Okay. First of all, got to be 12 volts, unlimited current. Second, let's connect it. Adapter. And 12 volts coming in here like this. Okay, ready. Yeah, they are not nearly close to, but they actually not that weak. They are making some airflow happening. So the consumed power is like, yeah, they are overrated a little bit by the manufacturer. So that's the noise. They kinda sound strange. Okay, 8,000 RPMs. Well, I mean, they are not powerful at all. 7 volts with the well, I mean, we can try it. Seven volts, but the thing is that they don't need to work at 7 volts because for a car that's not being used, we're talking about NVIDIA Teslas, old ones. For a car that's not being used, you don't even need any cooling. That would be like 40-45 degrees without fans. But when it's in use, you would need like full power of them. So there's no, pretty much there's no like intermediate state. So if they get engaged, they should be at full speed. So, but they work at 7 volts. Create some airflow. Nothing special. That's the noise. They seem to be not really well balanced. They are from AliExpress, and it's, well, there's some logo there, but it's just things from AliExpress. Now you can probably read what they are through the holes. That's what they are, nothing special. So, but yeah, I think they have enough power to at least somewhat cool down the card, the working card. So yeah, that's, but if you lower the voltage for a working NVIDIA Tesla card, they are not going to be nearly enough, that's the thing. Okay, let's see if they start at 7 volts. So that's already turning off. So let's see if 7 volts is enough to start them. Oh yeah, no, they work. They feel like they are not really well balanced. Okay, but we learned a thing or two about these fans. They seem to be actually pretty powerful for their size, but not like finger cutting powerful. Not that type of power. So yeah, gotta test them on the card. Create some airflow, testing it on my face, testing it on the mic. So might not be that bad. I kinda didn't expect a lot from them because they're like 1 centimeter thick only. Okay, that part's ready. Let's get rid of the power supply that we are not going to need. So yeah, one thing we have assembled this adapter for them. Unfortunately, no monitoring of RPMs, no monitoring wire. But I mean, you cannot have everything. It seems like these cheap fans from Ali, the narrow ones, the thick ones, they just all are not like they are not PC fans, not computer fans, so that's why they don't have monitoring. So okay, I will test it on my NVIDIA P40 later because, well, I mean, for that I'll have to stop the stream and just get not really inside my PC. My P40 is outside of the case on top with a riser, so PCI Express riser that's like 50 centimeters long. So I run it outside of the case. It doesn't fit inside because I already have 3090 inside. And in the lower slots where I could maybe try to fit my P40, the length of the card is limited. So even with this cooling solution at the end of it, it just doesn't fit, it's just too long. Okay, let me put the power supply back. Charge batteries. Just a second. Volts, limited current, 0.1 C. But I prefer to charge the small batteries that I use for the cage at half an amp. I don't know if you can hear any of that, if you could hear any of that. The big batteries, of course, like it's 1.5 amp. Nice slow charge. So I'm kind of working on, well, I have two big power UPSs, and one recently stopped working. So because of the batteries died completely, like even started to bulge. So I bought some. I'm not buying expensive batteries anymore, so I bought probably the cheapest ones, because the expensive ones seems to be dying pretty fast, and these ones at least they are cheap. So, but got I'll do it later, not today, but got because it's these batteries, the connectors aren't right, I kind of make adapters for UPSs. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm not paying this money, so these are like 15 bucks, I think. 15 bucks a battery, 17 ampere hours, 12 volts. There's two of them in my UPS, and both of my UPSs, two each. So another one I'm running on even larger batteries that are outside of the case on extended cables. So, and these ones like connectors like that, it's my custom fuse, 50 amp fuse. I think it's car audio fuse. I don't know, I never had a car and never had car audio. It's 80,000. Yeah, I've been thinking about actually trying to assemble something like on using lithium, but the ones that poor lithium ferrum, lithium iron polymer ones. So, but yeah, I never assembled actually lithium batteries, and these ones that are lithium polymer iron, they seem to be more safe. But yeah, so far I'm running everything using good old lead and acid. But again, since I'm saving on everything, I'm not ordering like the parts from manufacturer or even compatible parts. I'm just ordering batteries and making my own cables for them. So what's next? We still have a little bit of time left, so let's start just soldering TRS cables. I wanted to get at least 4, but I might not have time to do 4 because I'm going to do them very, very slowly and very, very carefully. So, and I'm going to use different jacks for them from different manufacturers. So let's start with these two. I already cut them to the length. They're going to be pretty much patch cords. What for? Let me show you. So I have these bricks that are pretty much adapters. They turn for balanced audio connections into one. Well, it's not Ethernet, it just uses the cable, twisted pair, and the connectors RJ45. So instead of running 4 pretty thick cables, you can run just very standard Cat6 Ethernet cable. That's pretty good for what's it called, balanced audio connections. So, and this you need to connect to that audio card, another one of these on the other side. So that's why I need a bunch of patch cords. So 2 are going to carry left and right. Yeah, they're balanced, so they're going to carry left and right from one computer to another. Another one's going to carry microphone from that computer to another, and one more is going to carry my microphone from my PC back to another computer. So you can do it all using digital, using NDI, transferring not only image but audio and whatnot, and voice meter can do that, transferring audio over just the network. But I prefer analog connections in this case, but good analog connections. So I got some real cable here. It's Clots MY206, pretty standard professional microphone cable. Good for, of course, good for balanced connections. Yeah, let's see what's inside. I actually only cut it, but I never tried to strip any insulation off of it. So let's at least do a couple. But yeah, I'm going to do it pretty slowly. And it's going to have, let's see, this one I'm soldering, that's for the cheap side of it. So I specifically got a ton of these jacks from AliExpress. They seem to be good. I have some Amphenol jacks and they seem to be like really close to that. Just the right diameter of the hole for this cable, so that you're supposed to care about too, even though it's like squishy. It's plastic of some sort, but it's softer. So you're supposed to actually care about the size of these holes when you pick connectors for your cabling. So yeah, like this. DMX, yeah. DMX, this stuff can be used for DMX, of course, too. Yeah, and DMX running as DMX over twisted pair. People do it a lot. Okay, let's see. So that's the length of it. How I would usually do it. By the way, there's red and there is blue. If we do everything 100% right, we got to specifically, I think the red one goes to the tip and blue one goes to the ring. So it's kind of hot and cold, imbalanced. So let me see. Just to have everything right. If anybody just yeah, the tip is hot, positive, so it's gonna be red. The ring is cold, so it's gonna be blue. Okay, I'm going to strip it like at this length. This should go on the cable. Do not forget about this one, won't be able to put it on after. So yeah, the ground kind of, well, of course you're supposed to solder it, but when you just crimp it properly, kind of tucked back around the cable, that sometimes is enough, but you're supposed, of course, to solder it. Yeah, so rarely get these days to work on these things. Okay, let me do it like this. Move the camera slightly. So the right length, I'm going to do it like this, and I'm carefully, very carefully, I'm not using any cable strippers, anything like that, very carefully, with actually pretty dull knife. So no, you're supposed to have the ground connection in the balanced. You're supposed to have the ground connection in the balanced. You cannot actually do it without ground connection as far as I understand. So that's why it's gonna take a lot of time, because of stripping them this carefully. I don't want to cut accidentally anything inside. People of course would use cable strippers and whatnot, but I prefer like to carefully, really carefully cut through the insulation. Like this. The knife's pretty dull. Aha, there's no foil outside. A while since you've seen one, the big jacks used. 6.3 millimeters, it's called here. Well, man, it's everywhere when you do music. It's everywhere. XLR too, but all the professional cards, semi-professional cards. Yeah, see what's in front. It's combined, but it's still jacks and XLR. Yeah, a couple spins it's off, but if you are not careful, you're gonna cut through the braided shield, which I absolutely hate. And I always using strippers and cutters, I always cut. If this cable had a foil on top of the braided shield, then yeah, maybe, but there's no foil. So, but I didn't lose a single called strand of the cable. This is going to be crimped into the connector. This is going to be soldered here, which is going to be a little bit problematic. I don't remember the right order of actions here. As you can see, it has two ropes inside, just to make it stronger. Because it's a microphone cable, it's supposed to be moved around a lot, stomped on it and whatnot, so... Okay, these are actually pretty, how to call it, pretty stiff. Okay, do we have focus? Sorta kinda. So, just again measuring everything here. I can make it like this. But then this hole big enough for this one? Sorta, kinda, almost not big enough. Amtrex, good evening, welcome. Yeah. Soldering some cables tonight. Nothing special, just balanced audio cables. Patch cords pretty much to connect one panel to another panel. Do we have like focus? I keep losing it. It's manual. So if we do it like this, Then we're going to do it like this, then hope to solder it. And if I solder it like this, then would this go on? I cannot test it because I unbend these sides of it. So, yeah, I tend to cut things really short. Okay, these ones, these ropes, I don't want to cut them. I want them to be crimped inside the plug itself. So, but I want to get them out of the way. They are not strands, they actually, there's like a lot of them. Okay, but they're getting in the way, which is sort of annoying. So we'll have to strip a lot off of this. So I'm measuring everything to trying to figure out everything to a millimeter here to avoid any strain or any excess left. Pretty stiff, way stiffer than I expected. But I haven't dealt with this type of cables like I buy them. I do not solder them, I buy them like ready. Okay, that's why you have these for. That's what. You have these for. Oh, I pulled it out with my teeth. Oh, freaking hell. Interesting, it moves that much inside. Wow, okay. Unexpected. Now it's like way longer. I pulled it out. Didn't even apply that much pull. But it's now way longer than it's supposed to be. It's not that it disappeared on this end. It's just got, I don't know, stretched. The core got stretched to here. It's like 5 millimeters, additional 5 millimeters appeared out of nowhere. Okay. Okay, not good. Should not do that. Should cut them better and use less pull with my teeth. Pretty good insulation. If you don't cut it completely, it's not going off. It's not just stretching itself. Yeah, pretty good. Just a little bit left, enough to keep it in place. Okay. This we got to get out of the way. Yeah. These ones are annoying. The strands of just threads. I didn't want to cut them, but I think I might need to. So that's too long. That's too long. It's going to make a loop here. That I don't like. And I actually don't know how far the insulation will just shrink when I start heating it up. So okay. I have cable strippers for smaller cables, for larger cables, for like mains, pretty much that size. But I'm not going to try to use them here, because every time I use them to remove insulation from like big wires, some strands definitely leave with the insulation, which is not really a big problem, especially you can ignore it if you do a lot of it. But for myself, I don't want to lose even a single strand here. Okay, I cut it shorter. I mean, I didn't cut it shorter, I stripped off more insulation. Let's do this the same here, manually. So this type, that's why in my case it takes so long, because I do it like really manually. And really carefully, of course, because I'm cutting it with a knife, but at least cutting it with a knife I can see and I can feel. When you use a stripper, you just put the cable in and activate it like circular motion or just handlebar, and you hope that half of the strands not going to end up torn with the insulation. Oops, I think I lost one strand here on one of the cables. Okay, this is more like it. This is a little bit, not a little bit, this is like seriously better. So now we gotta prepare everything to be properly soldered on. Okay, so yeah, this is on the wrong side. These are pretty stiff cables. Well, I mean, the cable itself is not stiff, but for its size it's not stiff, but it gets way stiffer. When you come down to this side, to these sizes. Okay, so that's supposed to be the other way around. Crap. Okay, trying to do everything too perfect here, but again, I'm kind of learning the best techniques with this cable, with this specific cable, with this specific connector, with this specific jack. So these two were a little bit unexpected, if you ask me. Getting all the strands, the rope part that makes the cable more resistant to bending and whatnot. I'm gonna get it out of the way. So you got to even plan for this type of stuff here. Okay, if you go here, you go on the other side like this. I just moved it on the other side, that's what I've been trying to do. All the strands together. I twisted them on the wrong side. Get did I just twisted them on the wrong side again? No. No. No, that's more of the right side. Okay. These ropes are annoying, but I don't want to cut them off. I want them to be crimped inside the plug itself. Slow me, yeah, but again, this is the first one. I'm just learning the best way. Good evening, welcome. I'm just learning the best way to do it here. The way I want it to be done, but the fastest, the best way to do it. So, for example, we learned that we got a plan on which side we got to twist the braided shield here. We got a plan for that, like in advance. Okay, so let's cover, pre-solder these ones here. Cover them and solder. Yeah, the insulation is shrinking, exposing a little bit more of the cable. Okay, so it shrinks, not terribly, but it does shrink. Gotta accommodate for that. Fistmaster, that's interesting. My cat that I used to have would just only request anything related to his toys if he just, I don't know, lose them under a fridge or something. Then he would just try to show me that I need to get it from under the fridge. Okay, so this like goes here. This then goes here. Not ideal, but the best we can. So, and then this one. To go in this hole here, like this. And you know, I like to put shrink tubes on everything, but not in this case. In this case, there's literally no room for them. So I did not pre-solder these ones, and these are from AliExpress. These are Chinese ones, not branded, so they might actually be a little bit problematic to solder. I should have tried at least to touch them before. Oh no, they take solder very well. Not a problem. Sometimes the pads wouldn't just take solder at all. But not in this case. In this case, it was just very easy. Which I wholeheartedly welcome, of course. Okay. Just a couple touches. And it's in and it's on. Okay, now, yeah, and it's completely, as you can see, with the whole insulation. It's in between these legs, whatever they are, arms of the crimped part of the jack. So and that's what you can do with the rope here. You can put it inside. So, but now the last thing we need to solder is this one. This one I didn't cover in solder before because, well, after that you're not going to be able to bend it. Yeah, that's the idea, because there's no loop and the cable itself is going to be crimped in very nicely. Nothing supposed to move in here. You're not supposed, technically speaking, you're not supposed to put any shrink tubing in here, because you're supposed to just cut it all to the size and prevent it from moving just by being short and by being crimped. So, but this one's going to be a little bit harder to solder because I did not pre-solder it. So let's see if I can just... It's very easy to put solder blobs on this contact, what are they called? Pads, whatever they are. The clear sleeve fits over the top of everything. So it's sorta kinda prevents these ones, the hot and cold wires, to contact with the case of the thingy of the jack. So as you can see, it's very easy to add some solder to the metal of this, but the cable itself, the braided part of it, the braided shield, needs a little bit more temperature. To be actually properly soldered. So, and the excess, then the excess of it, excess, you just cut off and it flies somewhere in your keyboard, which is amazing. So, okay, it's on. Now let's crimp it properly with this rope inside. You're not supposed to really to crimp it back into the same crimping part, but I just want it to be in there, but at least the majority of it. And I'm not using any special tools for this, just pliers, small pliers. That's what's holding the cable inside. Yeah. Getting the rope that I don't need in there. The strands of whatever this is. Hey. The clear part. Where's the clear part? Here's the clear part. Oh. Again, this is a Chinese connector from China, but it's really similar to, let me show you, the one from Amphenol. Like, they look very similar. Here's the real one, Amphenol. So this one's not TRS, this is just TS. So, but otherwise, well, a little bit smarter here, a little bit smarter. There's like not just a hole, there's a tab. You can just crimp the cable in that tab, but otherwise, even the look of it, really close. Of Of course, materials might be different, small difference in its the way it's constructed and whatnot. Okay. Okay. Sits well. Oh crap! I hit the lamp with my head. It's not supposed to be like really here. I moved it a little bit closer for soldering. That's the lamp. Okay, so here it is. One's done. Takes quite some time, but we are learning things here. We are learning how to deal with them. The best way to deal with them. The best way to solder them on. No, first this one goes on. Do not forget to put the casing of the connector before soldering anything. Then the plastic transparent sleeve goes on. So, and then we start cutting. Again, the same way, carefully. So, if you cut a little bit, if you strip a little bit too much of insulation, you always can cut the wires inside and make them shorter. So this one I'm kind of cutting way faster because I learned the thickness of the insulation and the amount of pressure I need to apply to go through. A little bit of a kind of surgical thing. So one of the famous Russian surgeons, one of the first ones to be honest, Pirogov was his name. He kind of would just do a party trick. It was like 18th century, no, 19th century. So Pirogov would offer a party trick. He would take a scalpel, a surgical knife, or just a sharp knife. I would take what's it called, paper for cigarettes, really thin paper, thinnest possible, and he would just cut through the amount of sheets of this thinnest paper as many as requested. So I would take bets if he can do like exactly like 3 sheets of the stack or like 10 sheets of the stack. Yeah, fist, yeah, but I would maybe do the same, but it would take even longer. It would take even longer in this case. Did I miss a follow? Tell me if I missed a follow. I'm not listening to my notifications right now. Okay, so as you can see, we have this braided shield on 2 sides, and we got a pre-plan where we needed to go. So there's kind of no up and down. This cable doesn't have it, but since these 2 wires inside it is still sort of kind of planar, so you got to be like prepared and to have this all twisted together on the right side. So the red one goes to this one, the blue one goes, you cannot see, so the red one goes here to this one, the blue one goes to this one, and this then supposed to go underneath them. Okay. I mean, I want it to be as perfect as I can, as I'm physically able to make it. Okay, this is like sorta kinda how it's supposed to be. Okay, Fist, yeah, I kinda maybe missed something. So if I missed following, if I missed the code just following, my apologies. I got to put my headphones on. I kinda, normally when I stream this, I wear just some Bluetooth earplugs, but my Bluetooth Bluetooth transmitter is that. I forgot to charge it, and it doesn't work well connected to the charger. So, okay. Okay, something like this it's supposed to be. Let's start cutting. Sorta kinda, maybe even a little bit of a meditation thing, but dealing with this all. So we have like braided shield, we have two wires inside, and we have this, it's pretty much two ropes, or one rope divided in two parts. It seems to be cotton or something like that, not synthetical even. So feels a little bit like too much, at least for me. Oh, mini disc players, yeah, that's a cool technology. Unfortunately, I've never had any access to mini disc stuff. Though I got this thing. And that's not the only thing that plays cassette that I've got. Bought it actually a couple years ago. It's not like something from old times. Vinyls to them, yeah, vinyl. I'm not a fan personally of that. I had a chance to bring my old Soviet record player, but it was so freaking heavy. It's like properly heavy. So, and I basically didn't have enough room in my luggage when leaving Norilsk for the last time, so I left it in there. But it was a proper one, very heavy, with good sound, electronic control, not a lot, but yeah, still running. Yeah, that one is from around that time, I think like 1990 that would be. There's not a lot of things that Soviet industry could produce very well, but that one was surprisingly good. Well, not bad. I'm trying to cut. Remove the insulation with just my nails. Okay, here we go. So I had the chance to bring it. The amplifier though, the amp that was used with the old cassette cassette player, cassette recorder, whatever, cassette machine, and that was used with that record player. The amplifier is here with me. It's currently my TV audio amplifier, so I don't need like surround sound 5.1. I'm okay with like things being just stereo when I watch shows and movies. So, and that's connected to my TV. Again, digital output from the TV goes into a converter box that I actually assembled on stream, I think. Yeah, the belts, it's a problem. I actually need to. So this one, the Pioneer cassette deck, it's not the only one that I have. So I have one that's kind of a pair for my amp. Brushed aluminum front panel, 70s, late 70s brushed aluminum front panel. That's the look that I like, aluminium. So the amp has been in the family since the 80s, but I got a Sony deck that's of the same design. The deck is of the same design as the amp. The amp is by LOD, it's like Hitachi for Japan, so LOD. And the deck I picked up it very recently. It needs some fixing to. Is Sony. I don't remember the exact model. So, but it's like, even though it's from different companies, the design decisions are absolutely the same. It's like they were made to be a pair. Let me actually, if I can show you. DHA 135, I think it was. LOD index on some Japanese site. No. LOD HA 135. Just give me a second. Aha, that's closer. It's not 135, it's 180. HA 180. HA 180. Yeah, that's the thing that I have. It's actually an amazing amp. It doesn't have this, it doesn't use these modern tricks when they would just cut off the sound if nothing's going in. It just has very low noise. So I'm going to show you it in a second. And Sony. Crap. Just give me a sec. I'll find it. Just give me a short second. Yeah, I should have it saved in my favorites. Crap, I don't anymore. Just a second. TCK3. Sony TCK3. Just a second. TCK3. Pictures. Oh yeah. So please, high resolution. Can we have high resolution? So no, that's the wrong one. Ah, crap. Capturing wrong monitor. Apologies. We need another one. Here we go. So that's the amp that's been in the family since the 80s. Very good one, just stereo. Has its own phono character, it's called. So can play can have record players connected. So that's the amp. LOD, that's Hitachi, and that's the cassette deck that I picked for it. It's Sony cassette deck. Mine doesn't have like the Macintosh, so, but they're so similar in design, like super similar. Interesting. This one has this rectangular button, but mine has normal power. Yeah, just this lever as a power button. So I when I learned about this one, TCK3, it has a different actually name. When I learned about it, I was like, it's like a pair for my amp. So then I bought it. So I bought it. It needs some work, actually maybe a lot of work, but I'll do it one day. So far they just together under my TV, so people would have like some I don't know, sound bars, modern hi-fi stuff, and under my TV in that stand, TV stand, there's like the amp, brushed aluminum, and this deck, brushed aluminum. And nothing else. No disc players. Well, I have a video cassette deck, but it's on my desk, not under the TV, strangely enough. So I was just amazed how similar they looked. And it's so Japanese that it actually uses not European power, but Japan 100 or 110, I don't remember, volts. So, and gotta check the hertz. Usually things come from Japan capable of running on 50, both on 50 and 60 hertz, because half of the country of Japan is like 50 and another half is 60 hertz in the mains. So yeah, it has a little bit more than that. So it plays cassettes, but it plays them faster than it's supposed to. There's something a little bit more involving than just a couple of capacitors. You would expect because of the belts to play it slower and whatnot, but no, that thing goes faster. So maybe that's because the type of power used has to be adjusted. Actually, I never tried to measure how faster it goes. If it goes like the exact same percentage faster as the difference between 50 and 60 hertz, then it means that, yeah. So the dual voltage is like, voltage is one problem, the frequency is another. And in Japan they have, yeah, different frequencies. Still, as far as I remember. So all their modern hardware appliances, they're dual frequency. But that thing, maybe not dual frequency, so maybe it needs some adjustment. The amp, by the way, was modified. The amp, it's not in stock condition. It was modified by a huge green Russian transformer inside. And the 60 Hz, so it's charged faster. Yeah. Okay. not enough flux. No. Okay, when you have enough flux, you don't even need a lot of solder. Forgot to unbend these. Even cutting them very carefully, you still end up losing like a couple strands, especially from the shield. But from the shield it's like not really a big deal. Don't need any strands going off here. Like people working on like electrical stuff here, like the main stuff, they would just ignore occasional strands, even shorting things, because they would just burn off. Okay, but nothing's going to burn off in this one. There's like zero current pretty much. Yeah, twisted parts. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I kinda twist them all. Cannot help myself. So something along these lines. Only to twist, yeah. When you do like the main stuff, when you do 110 or 220, 240, those you try to not solder, especially if we're talking about like normal currents, like wall outlets, the house apartment lights and whatnot. So that thing you do not solder. Those things you just twist and crimp and whatnot, and well, fix them, but you do not solder them, because they're supposed to survive some heating, and solder gets, well, it unsolders when it's heated, when it's heating up. So soldering is only for those connections that physically cannot heat up, not supposed to be hot at all. So that's why when I'm working on that custom adapter cables for my UPSs, to use non-standard batteries with them, the batteries that not supposed to be used with them. Yeah, I kinda do not solder anything there, only use nuts and bolts. Or Vega, yeah, or Vega. I use ferrules where there's no way to feed Vega in. So, but I try to use Vega. Vega, whatever you call them. Okay. Now let's do this one. So I kind of spend an hour actually working on just one cable. But that's streaming, that's talking, that's just learning things here. Yeah, those I do not, those I buy from local suppliers. I hope they are not like fake. That stuff is too critical to have it from AliExpress. Plus, you kinda do not do it often, you do not like get in your electrical wiring of your apartment or your house too often. So even if it like doesn't cause a fire, just burns and smells, you won't be just opening everything, fixing it every time or several times, closing everything again. So you do it once and you try to do it that way that you could forget about it for years. So cut the excess of it. So now let's just try to properly crimp everything in with the strength of the rope. Don't want that. Well, I mean, it's not like every day, it's not every fault would result in a fire. Most of the time it would just burn off. Most of the time it would start smelling. You start losing connections, things would start flickering. Not every time it would be just a fire. So I've had enough of like faulty wires and connections. So, and even if something like that happens, like just going in again, I don't know, opening, like in my case it would be cable ducts, those boxes where you would just have everything connected, getting in again. Yeah, that's freaking annoying. Yeah, of course. The thing is that if you're in UK, you kind of have where is the sleeve? Always hides inside the plastic sleeve. So if you live in the UK, you always have live and neutral clearly marked. But here or in the rest of the Europe, like, where is it? That's a small standard small one, not a big one, the small one for like low power, low current. As you can see, you can put it in both ways. So and you can end up with like neutral and live on any side of it. Of course, that's not really a case when you do wiring in the walls or in the what's it called, the boxes. So it's not the case you're supposed to follow live, you're supposed to follow neutral. Check wire everywhere, yeah. So, but I kind of learned that, I think in case of the lights here, so when you buy like even a new apartment, the wiring would be done for lights at least, without any care for live or neutral. At least the ground they care about. The ground's always separate, but live and neutral they can just, which is not supposed to happen, because neutral can go to ground in the, what's it called? Keep forgetting the terminology of it. In the wiring boxes. German Schuka, yeah, these ones. I think you're talking about these ones. These are the big ones. They're compatible. So technically speaking, it can have the third prong in the socket. This is the plug in the socket. It can have the third prong. That would kind of make it impossible to plug it any other way. That's just one way. So, but here the sockets, the wall outlets, they don't have the third prong. Because the majority of the plugs wouldn't have a hole for the third prong. But this, if done properly, yeah, it prevents you from switching live and neutral. Okay, so everything's done. As you can see, we've done one cable in an hour, which is an amazing result, I think. Sarcasm. Yeah, it doesn't really want to go on because of this, I think. It doesn't want to screw on. It's not nice. It's not screwing. And I don't want, it's kinda turning in my fingers. Okay, let's do it like this. This short is not really that important. No, you don't have to be quick, just accurate, yeah. So let's see what I shifted in here. So this. Just bent it a little bit too much, considering the big solder blob on its side. Okay. Okay, just to be on the safe side, let's test the connectivity. And actually the resistance of it. Not here. Where's my tester? So done only one, which is an amazing result. Yeah, I'm going to spend like 2 weeks soldering them one by one, like this. Okay, here we have it. So the ground goes to the ground. Was it showing 0? It's showing 0. The resistance of it. Okay, the ring goes to the ring and doesn't go anywhere else. And the tip goes to the tip and doesn't go anywhere else. Okay, we managed to do one balanced TRS patch cable. To be one side goes here and another side goes in the audio card. So, but that's pretty much all time I have for tonight. So there will be more soldering, definitely. Very slow, meditative. So no, I've been soldering my own cables since, I don't know, since the beginning of the 90s. I've been soldering my own cables, but this time this is the most precise, the most accurate I can be here, and I just really want to work them to work for like forever. So I don't want to one day after like I don't know, a year of using them, very occasionally by the way, to realize that there's like one of the wires inside breaking, or there's something wrong with the connector. The connectors actually are not that cheap, to be honest, the jacks. Pre-made so expensive. Well, I mean, I know, right? But in many cases I would go for pre-made. But this was actually pretty expensive, even just to buy the components for it. So I spent quite some time looking for the cheap but still good jacks on AliExpress, and the cables cloths I bought it locally, and it was actually pretty expensive. So pre-made these patch cables, and they are cut to the length. The length of them is very precisely measured, so they are just enough, they have just enough length to give me like the connection with just a little bit of slack. So if I move things around, I'll have to like remake them, and maybe at some point I'll have to, but right now the way I planned it out, just with a little bit of slack and without any excess cabling that you would need to cable man. The best way to do cable management is to use cables that are like just of the right length. So that's the best way. So, and because there's going to be 4 of these on one side and 4 of this on the other side, with like not right length, it would be a lot of cable management. So that's why Cat 7 network patch cables. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This seemed to be taking quite some time, just one. But yeah, we managed to do it. We managed to do exactly one cable, so it's going to take like 7 hours more of streaming to make. I need 7 more of these. So we tested, we made this adapter that doesn't look that good apart from this shrink tubing being a little bit burnt by the lighter, but looks kinda, I would say, good enough. So now I can put it on my P40 video card and test it. So, and we managed to do one cable, one TRS balanced audio cable. Okay, at this point, I guess let's call it a day for now. I'll continue definitely the streams. So we will stream more of these cables. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. The audio seems to be, yeah, the music. The last time I actually realized that the music was a little bit too loud. during the part number 1. So okay, we learned this thing too about this particular cable, these particular connectors, and I hope the next time is going to be just faster. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. My standard speak here. If you're watching me on YouTube, thank you for watching me on YouTube. Do we have anybody? Not really, but still. Please leave a like if you're watching this on YouTube, since it's possible to do on YouTube. Doesn't matter if you're watching this as a live video or as a recorded video. Likes help. Subscribe for more. Normally we play games on this channel, but from time to time we do DIY stuff like this. Basic soldering, nothing too complicated. I don't do like electronics on a serious level. I don't really do component level repair and whatnot. Pretty much some cables, usually that's my top. So, or sometimes I would just assemble build PCs here, but again, pretty rarely. Some streams are incoming related to that, but they, to be honest, been in this state, in this incoming state for a year already. So after I'm done with these cables, yeah, I'll start working on preparing old hardware, old PC hardware streams. So yeah, first got to do this. But normally that would be just gaming, DZ and GeoGuessr. Twitch people, thank you for watching on Twitch. If you are not following me on Twitch for some reason but watching this, please follow. Activate notifications both on Twitch, doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or on YouTube. Notifications actually really help to catch me online, because I'm really hard to catch, hard to forget. that stupid line. So even though I stream usually when it's nighttime in Europe, that's pretty big time frame. And now, don't leave the channel yet. We always rate somebody on Twitch when we wrap things up. So let's see who we can rate. Who we could rate. So I have a lot of respect for DZ modders and modders in general that do new maps, because it's probably the most complicated, the most complex, and the largest mod ever possible ever for like a game like DZ. It's not like a gun, not a pack of clothing. It's a whole freaking map. So that's why let's go and say hi to Nate Lapt, who is working on his own DZ map called Outpost. Let me post the link to his channel in the chat. SPJG, good evening, welcome. Yeah, and will be more incoming, Thanks for jumping in, man. Thanks for jumping in. There will be definitely more incoming, SPJG. Just at some point, let's put it that way. Right now, let's go and say hi to Nate, who is working on his own DZ map. The play test, not taste. Well, the taste of it would be available at October 24th. So don't miss if you are into new DZ maps. And now that's it for tonight. Let's go and say hi to Nate. I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye and good night.